How important are those earnings, and specifically the bank ones, in setting the tone for this particular earnings season?
Yeah, thank you, Dominic, for having me. And I think the bank earnings are obviously important, and specifically the broader market earnings are very important. One, we're looking for how companies are handling what we're going through, how they're handling their strategy with the pandemic that we're seeing. Another thing we're looking for is analysts have actually revised earning expectations up this quarter during the quarter. Last quarter, we saw that analysts had a pretty low bar for a lot of the companies. And so we're seeing if companies can reach the bar that was revised upwards for earnings expectations. A lot of companies, as we mentioned, what is their strategy going forward? Outlook has been taken out of guidance. Guidance and outlook has really been taken out for a lot of companies, but maybe they give us a little bit of a peek behind the glass door on what they're thinking for the strategy going forward. As you saw, Disney has come out and said they're going to go really focus on their direct to consumer. So I really want to see what companies are saying going forward, how they're handling the new normal, and what they're doing. When you're talking about the bank earnings, the Fed has come out and said that we're going to have lower rates for a while. How is that going to play into the banks? What are they going to do as far as raising revenue in other ways, as we know that they need to do that?
In your mind, what are the most important companies, the most important industry groups that will kind of give you an idea about whether or not the American economy and the American markets can be on track going into 2021?
Yeah, I think obviously we want to see what the epicenter stocks do. We want to see what the cyclical stocks and companies do. We also want to see if this trend towards, the pandemic or the high tech, we're looking at Zoom and different Amazon, how those companies have fared during this time, if that trend's continuing. So if we see that trend continuing and investors are noticing that, hey, we're going further into this high tech, more away from the epicenter and into the pandemic stocks, that's a big thing to look for. So I'm obviously looking at, Amazon earnings and the e-commerce plays and seeing if that trend is holding. We're also looking at, different things when it comes to just the epicenter stocks and if they're kind of rebounding. The cyclical stocks have some sort of path to rebound going forward.
Those epicenter stocks have been powering the market rally. We are now just a stone's throw away from record highs again with a big election looming. Delano, do you care about what happens in this election?
That's a great question, Dominic. From an investor standpoint, it's shown that who's in the office or what side of the office doesn't really play in the sense of how the market fares. Obviously, from a wider perspective, the economy has to be doing well. So the big thing that I think the markets are looking for is that second round of stimulus, and the markets are really banking on that. As we know, investors want that stability for themselves and obviously for the market. So, and that also will provide, as we saw with the CARES Act, that provided a lot of money supply. So, the money supply was huge. People were able to save. People were able to feel a little bit more comfortable during this time. And what they did, and what I think will continue to happen, is they went to equities. As we know that rates and fixed income are super low, people are going to put their money to equities after they have, the basic things taken care of. And so this is a really important catalyst as we see going forward, is that next round of stimulus.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.